What's going on, everybody? I hope all is well. Today I've got something fun for you to work on that's all about adding life and feel to your grooves using the hi-hat. I'm going to teach you guys that groove that I played at the top. I'm going to break it down for you and show you that there are a few very commonly used hi-hat variations within it. And they work very well on their own to just spice things up a bit, but you can also combine them the way I did to create something that's really slick. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start with probably what's going to be the trickiest part for most of you out there. We're going to add in this kind of accented pulse to our eighth notes on the hi-hat. It sounds like this. So as you can see, I'm moving from the edge of the hi-hat with the shank of my stick to the top of the hi-hat with the tip of my drumstick, and that creates this kind of accented, dynamic pulse. It gives a little bit of feel to the hi-hats versus just an even eighth note kind of thing. This instead has a bit of a strut, has a bit of a thing to it. And I'm using a technique called the molar stroke to pull this off. And if you're not familiar with the molar stroke, I'll have a link in the description box for a video where I break down, that technique if you want to check it out in more depth. But really, think about it kind of like throwing a ball. It's a round, kind of fluid motion where the throw takes you to the edge of the hi-hat, and then when you wind back up for the next throw, you get that tap at the top. So it's this one fluid motion that gives you both of those strokes. So let's take that and let's add in the snare drum and try to make both hands kind of work together. They should both be round and fluid, kind of like a unit. Okay, now we have some dynamics happening within the groove. Let's see if we can add a bit more life to it, a little more personality by adding just a couple patterns into the hi-hat part. The first pattern is just going to be one extra note that's going to fall on the of 2. And we're going to bring our left hand over from the snare drum to the hi-hat to pull this off. And for our second pattern, we're going to throw in 2 notes to the hi-hat with our left hand in a slightly different part of the bar. Pay close attention to the dynamics. The first hit is going to be on the top with the tip of the stick, and the second note is going to be accented on the edge. Excellent, so now we have dynamics happening and we have a couple of variations to play with. Let's see what happens when we put all 3 together and create a 2-bar loop. Now let's add in the bass drum underneath that without disrupting the flow in the hands. And after you get comfortable at that slower tempo, gradually work your way up to 120 beats per minute, which is where this thing really starts to groove pretty hard. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys have a great time working on this. If you want to take this concept of spicing up your hi-hat patterns further, I'll have a bunch of other examples for you to work on linked in the description box. But thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. You take it easy. Bye-bye.